A generous deal on windows. Receive $1,000 off every 10 windows you purchase. On top of that, they want to be a part of your Thanksgiving celebration. They will provide you with a $100 gift card to your local grocery store to contribute to your Thanksgiving festivities. Call 5280 Exteriors today to take advantage of this special November promotion. 5280 Exteriors, the altitude of quality.
At Bank of America, we asked our teammates, what makes this company a great place to work?
There's very little that you can't accomplish working for Bank of America.
If you prove yourself, you can try over in a totally new way.
You can learn so much here. You're the owner of your career.
See how our teammates are growing in their careers at bankofamerica.com/great place to work. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be an equal opportunity employer.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Hey, Stoke here. If you need a hip or knee replacement surgery, check out Colorado Joint Replacement. They're home to some of the top trained surgeons in the state using the latest technology. Their expert surgeons offer the most innovative joint replacement care in the Front Range. To schedule an appointment, visit coloradojoint.org.
Do you own a small business? You need to hear this. A seismic shift is coming. It's time to get super sure. Not kind of sure, not pretty sure, but super sure. Coming soon.
KKFN and KKFN HD1 Longmont, Denver. You're listening to Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. It's a Bud Light Football Friday. Bud Light, an official beer sponsor of the Denver Broncos. Here's Denver Sports Tonight.
Friday, we love you, and we have made it. Mike Rice, Dante Gomez. You know what, Dante? They only get 25 minutes of us tonight, so we better make sure it's a darn good 25 minutes. How the heck are you, my friend? How was the week?
I'm great, Mike. How you doing?
Hey, doing fantastic.
A little weird with no Broncos game this weekend.
Yeah, isn't it? It absolutely is. Broncos on the bye. They need the bye. We said it after the London trip. We said it. Well, I guess that would have been before the New York Giants game, which they almost threw away. We've said it a few times, and now they get the bye, and they get the whole week off, which is different for NFL teams. I heard B-Marsh talking about it with Will and Phil on the drive. It's different to get the whole week, but if any team deserves it, I think the Broncos probably do. Don't you?
Yeah, I mean, you're 9-2. You got a lot of hard-fought victories here, a lot of come from behind. You're playing for at least the fourth quarter, I would say. Maybe not the whole 60 minutes, but you're packing in a whole 60 minutes game's worth of effort into these games, regardless of how that is spread out throughout the game. Great for them. They do deserve this. They're a physical team too. I'm sure that takes a toll on the body, but Sean Payton knows what's best. He's gone through 15, 17 bye weeks here, so I have full trust in Sean Payton to be able to handle the bye weeks.
Yeah, we're going to check in on the NFL. We're just going to kind of bop around here on a couple of different topics. We'll start with the NFL. We'll see if we get to Nuggets or Avs. Maybe we get elsewhere, but we'll be out in about 23 minutes or so, and then we've got CSU basketball. The Rams and the Pios going at it in Fort Collins. So we'll bring you that starting with coverage at 6:30. This has been a topic with the Broncos on the bye and the Broncos in contention for the number one seed in the AFC. I've been listening to this all week, and Dante, I must say, it's just been something I've been looking forward to talking with you about because we need our say now on does Broncos country root for the Colts? Or does Broncos country root for the Chiefs? Where do you fall on this?
I don't understand the people that are rooting for the Chiefs. I really don't. I get that the one seed's on the table. The one seed's still going to be on the table, regardless of the outcome of this game. But if you can pretty much guarantee that the Chiefs are not going to make the playoffs or make them run the table at least to make the playoffs, giving them 6 losses in still November at this point, I think that sets them up for a really difficult road to make the playoffs still. So I would be rooting for the Colts to win. I get that the Broncos and the Colts each have 2 losses. The Patriots also have 2 losses, but there's just so much going on there. I think it's really hard to plan out the 1 seed right now. I think it's a lot easier to see the path here of the Chiefs missing the playoffs altogether, and to me that's more important. Also, on top of that, I would much rather go to Indianapolis for a game, if those are the 2 scenarios we're talking about, go to Indianapolis for a game, then welcome the Chiefs back into Empower Field. I know that the Broncos just got a win here over the Chiefs in Denver. I don't want to, run my luck up and try to do that for a second time. I'd rather go back to Indy and try to avenge that early season loss.
I got to be honest. This is not even a consideration to me to root for the Colts. I mean, to beat the Chiefs. I mean, there's still the Broncos have 6 games left, and the Colts have already had the bye, and so they have 7 left, including the one against Kansas City. Let's just say they beat the Chiefs. Let's just say they beat them and get to 9-2. Now the Colts have the head-to-head over the Broncos. We know that. So if it is a head-to-head tie, the Colts would have that. But this is the remaining schedule for the Colts after this weekend. Home to the Texans, at the Jaguars on December the 7th, at the Seahawks on the 14th, home to the 49ers on Monday night the 22nd. The Jaguars go to Indy on December 28th, and then that first weekend in January, it'll be the Colts at the Texans. There is no way, even again, assuming they beat the Chiefs and get to 9-2, if they win 4 out of those final 6, I'd be more than a little surprised. I think the Colts are a very good team, but I think they play some good teams. They play Houston twice. They're going to sweep Houston, really. I don't know about that. They're going to sweep Jacksonville? Possible. Not sure I'd put money on that. And they're going to go to Seattle, and that's just a win because I don't think so. And I like the season the Colts have had, but in my mind, you bury the Chiefs. You bury the Chiefs, and you said it really well. Kansas City coming back here, they would feel like that's a great matchup in the playoffs. I'm not saying that the Chiefs would win. I would hope they wouldn't. But what I am saying is the way the Broncos played at Indy, yeah, I wouldn't mind a trip to Indy if that's what it came to. And it probably wouldn't, depending on how the Chiefs shake it out here the last few weeks. But it might be that could be an AFC championship game. So, Dante, people have got to explain this to me. I mean, the Chiefs I still fear at some level because of their history, because of Mahomes, because of what they've done, because of Andy Reid. I fear the Chiefs more than I fear the Colts.
I think that's really easy to follow there. I'm with you on that one. Also, we're talking about the 3 teams that are vying for the 1 seed here, all a little unproven. I would rather take my chance against an unproven team, an unproven quarterback, than try to, stop the Chiefs from going to their 4th straight Super Bowl here. They've done it time and time again in the playoffs. I get that those games are usually at Arrowhead or whatever the field is called now there in Kansas City, so they're used to having home games. I don't care. I don't want to see that team in the playoffs.
Interesting, on the RamosLaw.com text line, 303-713-1043, from the 8456, what if it comes down to the Chiefs having to beat the Broncos? Now, he says in the final game to get to the playoffs. They play Christmas night, which is the second to final game, but I see the point. Late season game. I just don't think the question that the texter raises, do the Broncos still play their starters to knock the Chiefs out? I think on Christmas night, number one, I don't know that the Broncos would have clinched a bye at that point. I suppose it's possible. And if they have already clinched the number 1 seed, which I wouldn't predict, but if they were to do that by week number 16, that would be an interesting situation. But it's Christmas night in Kansas City. I think that game's going to mean something for the Broncos.
I think it's going to mean something for both teams.
Yeah.
Actually, I would be surprised if the Chiefs aren't still in the hunt and if the Broncos are still vying for that 1 seed. I think it's hard for me to imagine that the Patriots fall off a cliff and that the Colts fall off a cliff and the Broncos are riding in at, what would it be, like 13-2 at that point of the year. I think that's really hard for me to imagine that that's the scenario. So I imagine that's going to matter a lot to both of these teams. I also think it would be a little strange to rest your starters. You're talking about 3 straight weeks at that point, because it would be, game 16 of the year, game 17 of the year, and then that first round bye in the scenario that they already locked up. So you're talking about your starters not playing for basically a month straight at that point. I don't see that happening. I also just don't think you can take your foot off the gas to that extent.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that. On the RamosLaw.com text line, Colts need to win Sunday. Any Broncos fan rooting for the Chiefs needs some self-reflecting. I mean, I'm chuckling at it. We can all do what we want, and root the way we want. I don't get it. I honestly do not understand the Broncos aren't going to clinch anything this week. And the Colts have, and the Broncos do too. The Broncos have a lot of work to do. We know that. But I'm just looking at the Colts schedule, and a couple of others on the RamosLaw.com text line have said the same. Chuck weighs in. I agree, guys. Bury the Chiefs. From the 71-96, I can never, ever, 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 ever root for the Chefs. I wanted to make sure my eyesight was right on that. I just, Dante, this is Colt. You got to pull for the Colts this week. I agree with the texters that it's really hard for me to root for the Chiefs to begin with. If it meant the Broncos getting into the playoffs and they needed help from Kansas City to win a game, okay, yes, absolutely. But here, when the Broncos have played, 11 games and we're in week 12, nothing's been decided. There's too much to go. And part of what I'm implying, and I'll just say it outright, I'm not a huge believer in the Colts right now to lock up the number 1 seed. They've been very good. I acknowledge that. They have some things to prove. Just like I would say the Broncos offense has some things to prove to me to show that they are an offense that can consistently produce throughout the course of a game. They haven't done that consistently, and they get credit for winning. So I'm all about the Colts winning. I'm all about the Chiefs going to 5-6. How glorious would that be?
I mean you'd put them in the 10 seed with, 6 remaining games? That's a lot of ground they'd have to make up there. They would have to start playing really good football very fast at that point.
No question. All right, so that's I had to get that out because I've heard the conversation all week long, and every time I've heard it, whether it be with the guys in the morning, Dover and Cease, or Zach and Phil, I've been like, I don't get very emotional when I listen to the radio, but I've been getting a little emotional, so I have had to do some self-reflecting. And so I'm glad it's not just me, it's everybody else who thinks that the Chiefs should win because the number 1 seed's on the line. It's not on the line this week. And we'll close this topic with this on the RamosLaw.com text line from the 7651. Now, when I read this, we're just having fun with the topic. Everyone not rooting for the Chiefs is an idiot.
Me and you, my couple of idiots over here.
Yeah. So I'm laughing at myself. Oh, my goodness. No, I want the Colts to win. Bury the Chiefs. We'll deal with Indy later if it even comes to that. There is a certain quarterback that will be making his first start in the NFL for the Cleveland Browns, Shedeur Sanders. I think I'm going to be a little bit contrarian on this take as well, Dante. And I don't know how Shedeur's going to do with a full week of preparation, a full week of reps. I know all the history. We know what happened. We don't have to go over that. But I do find it interesting that when a young quarterback makes his debut or is just simply young, a lot of times he's afforded that grace, that honeymoon period or that time frame where it's like, okay, he's making his first start. I don't get the sense that Shedeur Sanders is getting that. I really don't.
He sounds pretty excited. I saw a press conference with him. And
he's excited.
Yes.
But I mean, I don't know that either media or fans are really sitting back saying, okay, let's not expect too much because he's a rookie.
I think this is a massive game for him, and I think hopefully he realizes the gravity of this game for him in his career. You're what was he, a 5th-round pick, correct?
Yes.
5th-round picks don't get a lot of opportunities, and this is one of them. You're getting in your rookie year. I think he has to go out and make the most of it, and I think the media is going to jump all over him either way because he's such a divisive topic.
He is.
And there's so many people that are backing him almost to a fault sometimes. We saw some reporters tweet out, a video of him, and it wasn't really anything spectacular. He did as more of a Jerry Jeudy play, but within the comments of the tweet, it was very pro Shedeur Sanders, and then people are jumping on that reporter for being like, what are you talking about? Shedeur did nothing here. Why are you, going over the top to, say how great he is here? And then you have other people that are like, this is why they're ready to jump on the take of this is why he was the 5th-round draft pick. This is why he fell in the draft. This is why organizations didn't like him. This is why he doesn't deserve to have his number retired at CU. Whatever it is, he's just such a divisive topic that I think regardless of how he plays on Monday, there's going to be a lot of people saying I told you so. I'm excited to see it. I don't know if you saw this number. There's a streak here. Since 1999, Browns quarterbacks who make their first NFL start ever.
Oh no, I haven't seen it.
0-17.
Say that again.
So since 1999, Browns quarterbacks making their first NFL start ever are 0-17, which, to be honest, it's crazy that they've had 17 quarterbacks make their first start in the last 25 years.
Right.
That's, that just speaks to how many quarterbacks they've been through in the last, 2.5 decades here. So I think he could be the guy to break that, though. I think he is not a guy that's going to feed into those kind of numbers of like, oh, this is so difficult, I can't do it. I think he has ultimate confidence in himself, and he believes he can be the guy to beat that streak. I'm excited to see it. I think this might be the most anticipated and excited 2-8 versus 2-8 NFL game of all time.
Well, and there are other layers to this, right? The Raiders, every team passed on him for 4 rounds, so we know that. But there was some talk that, hey, Tom Brady and Pete Carroll, they need a quarterback. Could as the draft was going on and Shedeur was slipping, could the Raiders be the team? They weren't the team. And now they play in Vegas with a little glitz, a little glamour, a little spotlight there. But I will say that a lot of the criticism Shedeur gets, he's brought on himself because of the various things that you just mentioned. I mean, the whole legendary thing, the draft hut or whatever, room, whatever you want to call it. And then we don't have to go through the whole list. People around here know it. A lot of people are turned off by that. Others not so much. Here's where I come down on it. I don't root against him. I hope he plays well. I don't want to root against the young man. I just, at the same time, I don't like all of the extra talk, all of the extra stuff, all of the extra, putting himself in the spotlight. Not my style, not the way I would do it. But let's see what the kid can do on the field. And that's what I'm interested in seeing. Is he going to be the quarterback that had to come in an emergency role last week and looked overwhelmed? Or is he going to be more of the guy that we saw at CU that seems to be able to sling it just a little bit?
Exactly. I'm right in that same boat as you, where I don't love everything he's done, but I'm not actively rooting against him. I think it'd be a great story if he goes out and plays well, gets a win. I mean, that would be incredible for Cleveland. Cleveland maybe starts to believe like, oh, maybe this could be our franchise quarterback going forward. So I'm excited to see it. Again, I don't love everything he's done, but there's a lot of NFL players or athletes in general that I don't love everything they've done or said in the past. I hope that he gets judged based on stuff he does on the field, because it's not like his off the field has been – he's not like a bad guy. It's not like he's over here, taking money from charities or whatever, bad – we've seen other people get in trouble with the law. The couple speeding tickets, not great, but it wasn't exactly harming anybody directly. So I'm rooting for it. I think it'd be a great story, and I'm excited to see – hopefully Browns, the Browns fans get excited about a quarterback for the first time in a long time here. So I think it's going to be must-see TV. I think the Browns are going to win the game.
Well, yeah, and the bar is pretty low in that regard because they are playing the Raiders. And, the Browns defense, not bad. it's certainly not bad. I mean, Myles Garrett is a flat-out beast, and they've got some pieces there, and I'm interested to see it too. And you know what? For the Raiders to lose again, I'm all about Shador having a great game. I would just absolutely love it if the Raiders went to 2-9. Lock up another high pick. Please feel free to do so, because there was some thought that the Raiders might actually work their way towards mediocrity, and they've gone the opposite way. The Broncos, of course, with the bye, they'll be back in action a week from Sunday. It'll be a Sunday night game at the Commanders. Bo Nix visited with Pat McAfee on the Pat McAfee Show, and Bo talked about the draft meeting with Sean Payton.
Well, I loved our visit. When he came out to Eugene, we were able to sit down and, really go through a couple hour long meeting, talking football with him and Davis, my quarterback coach now. And, we just literally went through an install, and we talked a lot about football, where it originated, how he got it. And we watched some video along with it, watched some of my stuff, how it compared. And I always knew we had a just similar background, similar style. He likes the quick game. He likes the shots. And obviously I love throwing the football. So for me, it was, it was all about going to a place to be with a coach that, in my opinion, had so much knowledge and so much experience that I could learn from. And that's exactly what I got with Coach. And then I think underrated is Davis Webb, my quarterback coach. He's always prepared me extremely well, especially from the get-go. He played the position and, know what it's like to walk into a game. And so he prepares me on a very good level, and we're always, ready for the task at hand.
You know what I thought of when I'm listening to that? fit. And Sean Payton saw Bo Nix as a fit. Sean Payton talks about Bo Nix like he's a fit. And Sean Payton is going to be Bo Nix's coach, I think, for a long, long time. I think Bo's going to keep getting better. There's a lot of work to be done, of course, but it's really nice to be able to do that work when you're 9-2 and on a bye and basically looking down at virtually every other team in the conference. It is a good fit. I think Davis Webb is a piece of that. And at some point, could Davis Webb be an offensive coordinator, a head coach in the NFL? Sounds like it. You never know how guys develop as coaches, but sure seems like it. And if the Broncos keep winning and Bo keeps developing, Davis Webb will be a candidate to get promoted with another team. But when I listen to that, Dante, I think a fit, and I think Bo is a great fit for the way Sean structures his offense and what he asks of a quarterback.
Yeah, and I would turn that around. I think it's a great fit for Bo Nix to be able to be in this kind of system with a veteran head coach here, an offensive-minded head coach that knows what's best for him, built up this team defense. What's a young quarterback's best friend? A good defense and a run game. And the Broncos have had a great run game. That kind of took a little bit of a hit here with J.K. Dobbins going down, but he has a great offensive line in front of him. He has a solidified wide receiver in Cortland Sutton, some other guys that are coming along here, Troy Franklin, Marvin Mims, and Pat Bryant as well. So I think that they've given him just enough to be successful, but they're putting him in great situations with, and not asking him to do too much, which I think is a huge thing that young quarterbacks can feel that pressure of having the whole franchise on their back. It doesn't feel like Bo Nix has that. Obviously he's a starting quarterback in the NFL of a team that's going to go to the playoffs here, and that has enough pressure as it is, but they're not asking him to be Josh Allen and go out and, win the game all on his shoulders. They're not asking him to be Patrick Mahomes and go out and win the game all on his shoulders, which, to be honest, the Chiefs don't actually even ask Patrick Mahomes to do that often. They've had a great defense for most of the time while Mahomes has been there, or if you look back, Travis Kelce, top-tier tight end, Tyreek Hill, top-tier wide receiver. To me, it seems very similar to that kind of fit where obviously they recognize his talent, but it's just unfair to ask a young quarterback to do everything by himself, and Sean Payton's not doing that. So I think it's been a great fit going both ways for these two guys.
Yeah, they're not asking Bo to do a lot, and Bo talked about how much the defense is doing for the Broncos?
It definitely, one, starts with a defense. In this league, you got to be able to stop people, and it comes down to the end so many times to where we just feel comfortable with our defense that they're going to go out there and get a stop no matter what happens. They rush the passer at a all-time effective way, and they do a great job downfield covering guys and make open field tackles. A lot of erasers on that defense. So we know at all times you're going to have to stop people, and if you can stop people, that's the name of the game.
So there you go. And the Broncos defense has been doing that. It has been remarkable. And I don't worry one bit that this team got a week off. I think it's a team that will handle its business. I heard B. Marsh use a good word earlier when he was with Will and Phil. That's why they're professional athletes. And I think this is, in that respect, a pretty mature team, a pretty focused team. Hey, before we get out of here and get you to CSU basketball, we've got a giveaway. We are giving away a pair of tickets to see Hairball, the premier arena rock tribute band, live at the Paramount on January 16th. Be caller number 2 right now, 303-713-1043. Second caller wins the pair of tickets to see Hairball at the Paramount on January 16th. All right, Dante, that's it. We've got CSU Rammies back. Rammies? The Rammies and the Pios. Can I call them the Rammies?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. College basketball season, man. I mean, it gets lost, but there have been some marquee matchups already.
There have. Not my U of A Wildcats, but my, second cousin's Wildcats, whatever you want to call that. They've had a great start, too, so I'm excited to see. The Big 12 is so good at college basketball. Yeah. I'm excited to see how this season plays out.
Should be fun. It has been fun on this abbreviated version. Thank you, Dante. I'm Mike Rice. Thanks for joining us. CSU basketball is next on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
Tune into The Rundown with Richie Carney every weekday at noon on YouTube, Facebook, or X. Presented in part by The Birdie Bar, Louisville's premier indoor golf bar experience. Check out this week's live music, trivia, and other fantastic events at thebirdie.bar on the web and Instagram. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
Colorado's favorite appliance store is celebrating huge savings during our Black Friday sale going on now. Hi, I'm Brad Barnett, president of Mountain High Appliance. Craft your dream kitchen and save up to $4,400 on select KitchenAid appliance packages. Enjoy special financing and our price match guarantee with exclusive offers you won't find at big box stores. Visit us today and experience the difference. When you think appliances, think Mountain High Appliance.
Mountain High Appliance, your favorite appliance store.
Thank you. You could save thousands of dollars on the products your business uses the most with the Home Depot's new Pro Extra Preferred Pricing. Registering is free and easy. Just have your tax ID or business or contractor's license ready. But don't wait. The current preferred pricing benefit will end on November 15th. Visit your local Pro Desk to register now and unlock the deepest savings on the products you choose.
Payton Manning here. Throughout my football career, staying healthy was a big priority, but bumps, bruises, and injuries were part of the game. And for me, it's not just the clinical excellence and expertise that sets a medical team apart. It's also the compassion, kindness, and empathy they show. At Common Spirit Health, healing is quality care and human kindness. And my friends at Common Spirit are teaming up with their partners to spread human kindness and create healthy communities. Common Spirit Health. Hello, human kindness.
Looking to sell your used Rolex watch? We buy and sell pre-owned Rolex watches, all styles from old to new. Hi, I'm Scott Matthew with Matthews Fine Watches and Jewelry. Bring in your Rolex watch and we will buy it on the spot. Matthews, located in Highlands Ranch, serving Colorado since 1951.
Brandon Stokely here for ROX Rocks Heating and Air. Cold weather's coming fast. Do you have a game plan for winter? If your heating system is more suited for the bench, now is the best time to upgrade your system with the best pricing of the year. Take advantage of tax credits and energy rebates before they run out. Only from my team at ROX Rocks Heating and Air. Now play that jingle.
HVAC service, installation, repair. ROX Rocks Heating and Air. Winter is upon us, which means shorter days and slippery sidewalks. But you don't have to run or walk in the dark. Don't let bad weather stop you from reaching your fitness goals. That's where Fitness Gallery can help. We believe there's nothing more important than your health. Work out on your schedule on the equipment you choose, from the safety and comfort of your own home. For the fitness fanatic on your Christmas list, we have the nation's lowest prices on the best equipment money can buy. Stop by one of our 7 convenient locations or go to fitnessgallery.com.
If you have a tax problem, please don't put your destiny with the IRS in the hands of a salesperson. This is Todd Whalen, founder of Advanced Tax Solutions. Many companies use commissioned salespeople that may not have your best interest at heart. At Advanced Tax Solutions, you will only meet licensed professionals who are also certified in tax resolution. You will never meet an unlicensed salesperson to determine your fate. You can trust Advanced Tax Solutions for good advice, and the meeting is free. AdvancedTaxSolutions.com.
Samantha Flanagan here for Flanagan Law. Think a fender bender can't cause serious injuries? Think again. Many significant